Hey guys, what is going on? My name is Virtual Riot and I haven't made a video in a very long time. As many of you may know, I've moved from Germany to LA about 7 years ago when I turned 21, and I lived with my friends Doublots and Really Alive for a couple of years together in Hollywood. Then moved to downtown LA in the Arts District for a while, and now I moved to Tarzana, which is kind of on the other side of that big hill that the Hollywood sign is on. So now I live in this beautiful house with a lot of close friends. We got a big tree in our garden, animals around us, and it's a lot less hectic out here than it used to be compared to Hollywood or downtown. It's been a wild few years since I've moved here. I don't think there's ever been a substantial break from playing shows in the past 7 years, with usually 1 to 3 shows every weekend, and I gotta say it's a lot of fun but also very taxing. So much happened in these 7 years. I've had my first bus tour, my first headline tour with my Simulation album. I became friends with many of my producer idols like Kill the Noise and Skrillex, and it's just absolutely crazy. I got my first Platinum Award for composing the piano on the song Too Much on Justin Bieber's album Justice. Every year I'd mostly tour in North America with 2 to 3 weeks of China and a bunch of shows in Australia and Europe every year. Got to see lots of cool places I've never been to, and I couldn't be more grateful for the fact that I was able to turn my hobby into my career. It still feels surreal to me at times, but I guess every artist knows that imposter syndrome feeling. I took some time off last month to take some time for myself and refocus on what I want to do with my project and which things I want to focus on and put my energy into. One of them being my heavily neglected YouTube channel. Which brings us here into my new home studio. Obviously, making tutorials and YouTube videos was always a passion of mine, and I really want to get back into it. So I wrote down 15 scripts for episodes on music production, on different topics, and I'm gonna line them out all here. You can see them. There's gonna be like a text thing showing up, and I want to make a video about each of these, but if there are any other topics that you guys would like to learn about, let me know in the comments. It can be anything from like very specific sound design, specific genres, mixing, mastering. It can be something outside of music production like live performing, or some technicality stuff like sample rates, a studio tour of how I plug in all my cables and all of that stuff. Anything you can think of, anything you want to know about, I would love to make a video about, so let me know in the comments. The idea behind these videos is also that I'm going to start a Patreon, and if you subscribe to that Patreon, you get access to all the samples and presets and the project files made in the studio time videos that I will be doing. I'm probably also just going to upload random videos every once in a while where I just jam on pianos and synths. I felt like it would be unfair if I at least didn't talk a little bit about music production in this video. So here I have the project file of my We're Not Alone VIP that I've been playing out a bunch. Some of you might have heard it at the shows. And I just wanted to give you guys a quick look at this. It's this one. So I gave it these big supersaw chords. This is again big old stack of just supersaw supersaw serum, and then 3 different nexi, like a mids layer, a very detuned layer, another very detuned but bright layer, and then instead of making these like stops with something like Shaper Box, I just did them by hand, and did them by hand here on the vocal as well, just because I wanted like a little more control over this. But there is a Effectrix on the group that does this little, like these 2 little glitches here. So that's kind of cool. So then that builds into a lot of noise. All these drum fills are like a bunch of splice samples, and I think these are toms from Spicy Rhythm Drums Volume 1, and some taikos that I found on Splice for that kind of stuff. Then I tried to like implement the dun 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 melody, but the whole arrangement is kind of inspired by Mode Step's Lost My Way, where it's like, I think I've lost my way, where it's like, not the turnaround is kind of at the beginning of the 8-bar phrase, almost like a fake out that repeats itself over and over. It was definitely heavily inspired by that. Afterwards, when I was done with this, I was like, damn, oh yeah, that sounds rather similar. But that happens sometimes. These plugs are just, again, 3 Nexuses, 1 Serum. And then like grouped up, there's a frequency shifter on here because in some of these turnarounds, it like goes a little weird. Like everything kind of goes down. So this frequency shifter goes down. There's an auto pan on almost everything. I don't know where the auto pan is. Oh, it might even be on the sidechain groups on everything except the drum. Doing that while there's also all kinds of other things like that thing's coming in, the vocals go down in pitch or are getting frequency shifted down as well. So there's all this fun stuff happening. And then the bass sound is actually just like a one-shot bass step from Spicy Rhythm Drums Volume 2. I think it's this pointy 3B in a sampler here. But it sounds way lower and distorted, right? So if I turn off all the effects, it should sound like it used to. And it does. But one of my favorite new plugins, Spec Ops, is like a spectral effect thing that can like move your signs around depending on the FFT window size. I'll go in depth on this plugin in another video, but basically it's just changing the timbre there, changing the pitch of this frequency area, and then the compressor in here is kind of making it louder and distorted. And the distortion is coming sort of from the plugin itself, like from its out. Because if I turn that down, then the distortion is gone. But it sounds amazing. I really like it. There's a vocoder, a little bit of delay, hybrid reverb, and so there's all these different parts here where after another turnaround of this. So it goes into like a different tear out machine gun bass every time. And I think you can hear my CPU dying on this right now. I'm very sorry about that. All of these are kind of made out of 3 layers, sometimes 2, where there's one layer that's kind of like reverby, one distorted and dry, a laser layer here, a little super saw chord, and a sub. I think on the next one I was kind of lazy where this one has the sub included, and then this one's kind of like a snappy transient layer. Again, this one kind of has like a little bit of a reverb tail. Oh, that one has the really long reverb tail. And then a dedicated sub. And for the last one, also kind of similar arrangement. A dedicated sub. So I guess this one's kind of the roomy one. This is the more lasery, attacky one. And again, back with those kind of detuned super saws. Good times. I think we also got some contact trumpets here for the dun dun dun. Mim, mim, mim. And then there's background stuff happening, as you can hear. So there's this pad coming up here that's just like heavily sidechained with these auto pans and just even more background layers. And we got this yoink on every one. Almost can't hear it, but I kind of fit in. I don't know. It might not even need it after the fact. Then we got like a little very nervous detuned super saw high layer and a little offbeat note. Almost can't hear it, but it's kind of nice. And all these fills are like this, like just some detuned saws. going up in pitch, and some growly boy with a classic chain of auto filter, distortion, 3 OTTs after phaser. I'll go into the detail of the sound design of all of these in the future videos. Especially this one, I used a wavetable that I imported from Pigments in here, and as you can see, half of the waveform is this really high frequency thing, and then the other half is almost just noise, so it kind of gives it... If I pitch it down even lower, it gives it this rhythm. And I think that's very cool, and you can do fun stuff with it. Yeah. So that is basically it for today. I will go more in depth on all kinds of things in future videos. Alright, that's it for today. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something. I know this wasn't very in-depth. I'm going to make more in-depth videos about specific topics. And again, if there are certain topics you would like to learn about that I haven't listed yet earlier, then let me know in the comments. I would like to make these videos a little more regularly. I would really like to try one a week, and I hope I can keep up with that, but don't be mad at me if I can't. Monkey, you want to go down? Okay, Monkey, go down. Monkey says bye. Bye-bye. Also, I'm going to be setting up my Patreon in the coming weeks, so then everyone who subscribes to it is going to get access to all the sounds and samples and presets from the videos that I'll be putting out, and sometimes even the entire project files. I know sometimes there'll be plugins that not everyone has, like third-party plugins. I can't keep it to only Ableton stock at all times, but sometimes I'll try. And we'll make some videos on that as well, where like trying to make like certain things just with Ableton stock, or a video about like effect racks and just using Ableton stock and stuff. But yeah, this is going to be fun. I have big plans, and I hope you're just as excited as I am. And I hope to see you guys soon. Bye-bye. A little bonus thing at the end. As you can tell, I am not a seasoned YouTuber. I don't have any flashy clickbait thumbnails or ending cards or whatever. But maybe this is just going to be the vibe of these videos, just to like play it by ear sort of thing. Also, I wanted to show you guys this little Novation circuit thing I had. This is like a on-the-go little mini sequencer with 2 voices and 4 drum samples. There's not a lot you can do with it, but since you can load your own like samples into it, I obviously had to do this. John C. Also try to remake Scary Monsters and Nice Sprites.